Welcome back, everybody, to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor,
And my name is Hunter too.
and if this is the worst audio that you've ever heard on this podcast, there is a reason for it. So I think for maybe the first or second time in our podcast history, we're having some pretty bad technical difficulties, all because I refused to get a software update on my laptop.
Yeah, figures,
Um,
figures.
yeah, so procrastination bites once again. But here we are, recording the podcast from my phone, or my end is from my phone. So pardon that, and you may not have even noticed if I hadn't brought attention to it. But
Yeah, people are
there
gonna
you
be
go.
like, this sounds better than ever.
Never gonna have to do this like this every time.
Ugh, ugh.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. We're coming off of a pretty rough week, to say the least. Pretty rough game against LSU, but hoping to get that back on track against Bowling Green. We're going to talk about both of those games. Bowling Green game, not so much, but we'll touch on it a little bit. But first, I did want to talk about. I did want to have an intro to talk about what's going on in the sports world right now with two home run races we've got going on. One might have just ended, but Albert Pujols in his chase for 700 home runs, and then Aaron Judge in his race to break the American League home run record for a single season. So Albert Pujols actually just homered twice in the same game to get homers 699 and 700. So that's pretty cool. And it's just crazy that he can hit that many home runs. I mean, 700 home runs before Aaron Judge can even hit 61. So I'm not really sure what's impressive about Aaron Judge's, but
Not my MVP.
not my MVP.
Does he
Probably not even
pitch?
going.
Does he pitch?
Does Albert?
Yeah. He did. He did this.
He
He did
he
this
actually
season.
did.
Show me Aaron Judge pitching this year.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
They're gonna
Yeah,
put
but
him out there
Aaron,
next week, and we're gonna be like, did they hear us?
the Yankees listen to our podcast. Yeah, but Aaron Judge. I mean, obviously, just a stupid, crazy season. He might be the first Triple Crown winner since Miguel Cabrera did it like a decade ago.
Is he
So
gonna be the
uh,
first Triple Crown winner to not go back to the team that he got it for?
probably so. That's probably pretty
Has
rare,
to
but
be.
future Brave, sadly. Um, so yeah, so he's chasing the number 62 will be like his record, but the 61 is the current record
Not my home run record.
Set by Babe Ruth. But Babe Ruth lived in an era where, like we said before, you could burn somebody at the stake for throwing an off-speed pitch.
Carlisle
So
Kessler would like. Well, I mean, he did play back then, so I
yeah,
guess I guess I'll pull him up on a Baseball Reference at some point.
yeah.
But
But I mean, these players also had like flasks in their gloves and were like ripping cigarettes in the outfield. So like they 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 really didn't have the mental capacity to like keep up with a curveball.
that
So
sounds
I
like the
under
average Pittsburgh Pirates like video.
hmm yeah. O'Neill Cruz ripping heaters and drinking drinking baseball water in the dugout. Uh, no, but obviously, super cool time in Major League Baseball history right now. I mean, we're seeing things that have never really been done before, um, or
Jack,
haven't been done.
I would like to argue that both of these things have been done before.
Okay, okay, in our lifetime, I meant, right? 700 hasn't been done cleanly in our
Dang it!
lifetime,
I was about to get you on both charges.
and 61 home runs hasn't been done clean. Clean is cleanly the word? Hasn't been done respectably in our lifetime.
Respect. Oh my god, Jack, who's your home run king?
It's Hank Aaron.
Okay.
It's the only right. Actually, I think Barry Bonds is the best hitter of all time. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the less important stuff. All right, this LSU game.
Wait, we have to recap the notable games of the week.
Oh,
Look
that's right. That's right.
look at the script one time.
I will. I will. All right.
So first game, Syracuse may be good, and so before we were recording, they were 3-0. They're now 4-0,
Mhm.
and no one knows if they're good. But they beat Purdue. Purdue's not bad, like,
Yeah.
and they just went into Syracuse and lost.
Hmm.
Stupid game. Garrett Schrader is elite. That's about all I have on that one.
Yeah, that puts you up one game in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in our contest, which we'll talk about later. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then the next game, this is a fun one. Um, Missouri State came into town against Arkansas, and
Hmm.
it may just be any other game, but like imagine a team's like best coach ever comes into town with an FCS team, and he's just like not liked, like like
I
their best
mean,
coach he was good.
like imagine if um, Dan Mullen per se had like, and this is completely hypothetical, had like an affair with a staff member on the team, and like the only way that that was found out about is because he had a motorcycle accident with that staffer, um,
Just
and
hypothetically.
I mean completely hypothetically, and then Dan Mullen gives like this really kind of pathetic going away speech, like press conference with a neck brace and a really skint up and burnt face, like how would you feel if he came in with a team like, say, Missouri State,
Perhaps.
um,
Perhaps.
perhaps, and almost beats you, like has you like on the ropes for
Like
three
took like
quarters?
a kick return touchdown for you to not lose to them while you're ranked in
Yeah,
the top 10.
it'd be wild. But I mean, of course, nothing like that's ever going to happen. Um, all right. With that being said, take away what happened with the Arkansas game.
Yeah. Arkansas cannot defend the air attacks. Missouri State went out there. I think their quarterback threw for over 350 yards on them, and
Yeah,
making it look easy. And a few of the plays were kind of stupid, but I mean, it's not like Arky was on the road or anything, so like you can't really expect stupid. It was
yeah,
a big look ahead spot, but I mean, it took late into this game for them to like lock in and win it.
yeah.
It'd be
I mean,
different if they came out of the second half. I mean, if they came out of half and they were like, okay, okay, we got this. But it went like until like 8 minutes in the fourth until they took over.
yeah. I mean, it was one of those like that keeps popping up on the score ticker at the bottom, and you're like, okay, well, it's kind of time for Missouri State to to not be in the lead anymore, and it just didn't happen until the fourth quarter. So it was a probably a scary game. We've had a few of those in the past, and one of those against like South Alabama, perhaps. Um,
Hypothetically.
hypothetically, say that same guy, Dan Mullen, wears shorts to a game. It's a recipe for disaster. So, but yeah, really glad that wasn't us. I don't think my heart could have handled almost losing to an FCS team.
Dude.
That's why we,
While being ranked in the top 10.
while being ranked in the top 10. Yeah, exactly.
Would have hurt so much. Okay, next. Like we said, A&M beat Miami.
Hmm.
Miami's good. A&M didn't play great, but they won. Um, Hayes King was not the starter, which is a good thing for A&M fans.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
One thing. I mean, just looking at the score, I didn't watch much of this game just because it was um, kind of overlapped with ours a little bit, I believe. And
and then the sadness took over.
by the time our game happened, I did not want to watch any more college football. So, I mean, just looking at the score, A&M has a pretty stout defense, and they got a shutout in week one, the weird game against App State, where they still didn't give up many points, but App State's offense did kind of have their way with time of possession and everything. But A&M, I mean, the trend is saying that their defense is pretty good. So, I hadn't seen a completely clean game from them, but they are 2-1. They're still ranked, and they got a big chance to prove themselves again this
Yeah,
week. So,
and Miami's legit.
mhm.
Their defense was really bend don't break in this game. Miami had like 4 trips to the red zone, didn't score a touchdown in any of them.
Wow.
Any of those flip, it's a completely different game, and I mean you can tell. I mean we're looking at the same score. Like
Yeah.
that game is completely different if any of those go different. So I mean if
Yeah.
you're a running team, you want to come in there and run in the red zone, have fun.
Good luck, Charlie.
I was about to say it. I didn't want to.
Didn't want to admit that you watched that too. All right. So that's going to do it for the notable games. Just that we chose. There was good college football all around. Wait, was there?
I mean, a little bit, kinda.
Kind of late in the day there was, I think. Um, anyway, that's going to do it for those three. And we'll last week Hunter did take a 2 game lead in the pick'em, so that's kind of scary.
As expected.
Um, yeah, I I think we differed on 2 games, and you won both of them. So
You hate to
got
see
to
it. Oh, another one. Penn State killed Auburn. Didn't even like let it be a game. Um, Ole Miss dismantled Georgia Tech. Oregon beat BYU. Bo Nix at home. Different animal. Uh, just looking through a few of these. But yeah, these all seem about. Oh, Florida almost lost to South Florida, and Anthony Richardson may suck. Like, he may be disastrous.
yeah. All signs are pointing to my king Dan Mullen,
Being right.
who I don't know why we keep bringing him up, but he may be right, and he may just be my favorite coach the MSU State's ever had. So,
There were some coach. There were some coach firings. Um,
ooh, yeah,
yeah, Herm Edwards out at Arizona State.
a lot of fishy stuff going on there. So,
Yeah,
kind of
I
hate
think
it for
I think a
Herm.
lot of that is just Arizona State trying to get out of NCAA violations by just firing everyone,
Okay,
because that's apparently how that works. And Herm wasn't the best after year one. It was a weird
yeah,
thing. Hey, let's build it like an NFL offense, so NFL teams will draft from us, and then that'll show the recruits to come here if they want to go to the league. But then, if you don't have a lot of guys drafted doing that, your whole point is gone.
so then you have to violate NCAA rules
Yeah,
to get
I don't
players.
really know what went on with the NCAA rules and infractions and everything, but apparently it was really really bad. I try to stay away from the negative things in life, so I
Why
just
are you
didn't.
a state fan?
You have to balance it out with something.
Yeah. Speaking of NCAA violations, LSU got the hammer put down on them this week.
That
They're on a
should,
1 year
that should vacate
one.
their win last week.
Yeah, honestly, I think it should. They're on a 1 year
And
probation,
we're
which I'm not.
undefeated now. 3-0
Yeah,
dogs.
I think it'd be 2-0.
2-0 dogs, undefeated.
Yeah, 2-0 last week.
Null.
Just negated. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know what a 1 year probation looks like. I know on NCAA football '09 on the Wii, that would mean you couldn't go to a bowl game. That was a big no-no. And it's just because I didn't do the recruiting part of Road to Glory
That's the
or
best part of
Dynasty mode.
that's the best part of Dynasty.
Nah, the
So
best part is these 2 and 3 stars that Mississippi State thrives on getting and just turning them into national champs.
so when the new NCAA football comes out, can we have a live stream together? I don't know how to set that up, but can we?
I'm 100% buying an Xbox just for that game. So
I think we should. Maybe we'll get together and do that.
absolutely, we need to do that.
That could be fun.
Yeah,
I
um,
don't know. Maybe.
yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, are we about to get ready to get into this LSU game?
Yeah, as I said, I try to stay away from the negative things in life.
We won't harp on it too much.
Yeah, y'all watch the game. Y'all are
Yeah,
smart. Y'all aren't happy.
I'll say it. If I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. If you're coming to us 6 days after the game happens to find out what happened in this game, why? Why are you doing that?
Also, do want to say, sorry for this being a Friday upload. Yesterday, I woke up and was surprised that my air conditioner stopped working. And you'd be like, okay, it's fall, that's okay. It was 97 yesterday. Inside of my house, it got up to 92.5.
Dude, just turn the air down.
I tried, but it's fixed now, and we're rocking. Could not record yesterday because at time of recording it was still 85 degrees, and I wasn't playing with that.
And Hunter are in we're co-managers on a fantasy team. We're in the middle of a real big game.
Yeah, big game. Had to watch our defense do the football.
They waited until there was no time on the clock, but they did the football. Okay. Hunter, I think the best way to go about this LSU game, like you said, staying away from the negative things, but just to quickly talk about what happened, we should break it down into the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay, okay, I
So,
like this.
I,
This is a
I'll
new
take
thing.
I'll take the good.
Okay, as because I said I stay away from the negative.
Yeah, so you can focus on the bad and the ugly. But what was good was the first drive on offense. Um, I saw a few things I hadn't seen in a long time. I saw, and I don't know why I saw them, but Mike Leach chose to go for it on fourth down on our own 20, the first possession of the game.
So wild. Didn't
And
enjoy
we got
it.
and we got it. And I hate the fact that we got it because once we got it one time, we thought we were going to get it every single time. And so in the first half, I believe we went for four fourth down conversions. Went with the same play every time. Um,
Hey, people that say that we need to run the ball more.
yeah, look at that. Um, the great play calls, right? I mean, it was just this. There's like a
It was,
read option kind of
it was
deal.
just inside zone, and Will can pull, but he's never pulled ever in his entire existence at Mississippi State. People
I
are
don't know.
like, "Oh, run an option, just pull it."
I don't
It's
know. I see him post pictures with his sister all the time. All right. I would say the first drive on offense was really good. After that fourth down conversion on our own 20, we did run the ball pretty effectively. I think Will had a couple of passes for, I think maybe 30 yards total in that drive. But Woody Marks carried the load on that drive, a 37-yard touchdown run to cap it off. And at that point, Hunter, you texted me and said, holy crap, are we a top 10 team? And I was going to let that slide, but I decided not to.
I
Um,
mean, I mean, every
we
time
looked
we
like
do
it.
something like that, like it's just like,
I mean, we had no reason to believe that we weren't going to do that every possession.
and I mean, all the
Um,
stupid power ranking polls have us in the top 10, so it wasn't
what
that
was on
dumb.
it? Yeah. Um, and that was one good thing. The first drive for our offense, the first half for our defense was, I thought was great. I mean, let me look at the box
Our
score real
punters
quick.
were pretty good.
Were they?
Yeah, yeah. We had like 4 punts inside the 20 and like 2 inside the 10.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about the other part of special teams where
Oh, we had a good punt return.
we actually had a couple good punt returns.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost had a good kick return, but it was a holding on the opposite side of the
Wow.
field that didn't affect
Man,
us.
man, that's crazy. Isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah, defensively we gave up one touchdown, gave up 7 points in the in the first half. So we went into halftime up 13-7, and even throughout the third quarter, we like for the first 3 quarters, defense didn't look bad, but it was the fourth quarter where Jaden Daniels really started just taking what we were giving him,
Playing
running,
NCAA.
yeah, running the ball, and it was exactly what we were scared was going to happen. And I don't really know if that was he started seeing something different, or we started, just getting tired, and we seemed like we started being on defense a whole lot more. So that would make sense.
Our
Um,
offense was also going. I'll stay away from the ugly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So I mean, like, there was a lot of three and outs, and but the fourth quarter is when just the levee broke, and they started getting third and fourth down conversions from Jaden Daniels to Malik Neighbors. Like it happened at least three times. Just that connection there, um, and he's a slot receiver, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so we never had the like Forbes on him, and it was always Colin Duncan that seemed to be getting just lost every time. So um, that was just no fun to watch. That fourth quarter is really what broke us, and that's going to bring us into the bad and the ugly, which I'll let you take care
I'll do the bad. You can do the ugly.
of. Okay.
So Will did not have the time or patience to push the ball down the field. This game was back to the gross play calling of old. Those screens where our offensive linemen aren't fast enough to get out there in space and
Hmm.
get those blocks set up, and it never seems like they are. And if they are, it's once a game. Yeah, those are back. Didn't miss them. I understand that. I
Woohoo!
understand that they're needed and everything, but I liked it more when they weren't being called. Um, yeah, offensive line was not up to par. Speaking of that saying, uh, shouldn't it be they were over par because that would be bad,
Like I agree.
like a double
I think
bogey.
I've proven, or I've shown the fact that I really disagree with a lot of sports analogies. So
Yeah, they're up to double bogey.
yeah, I think that
They were not down to par.
I like it.
I don't like sports.
Like imagine if somebody was giving a sports analogy and was like, "Oh, that doesn't really get up to gutter ball." Like gutter balls are horrible. That's never something that you would want. Like I don't. Never mind. I don't know.
Seems just not up to spare. Um,
Sports.
this team's just not up to 500. Just the expected result. This team's just not up to the Mendoza line. Okay, yeah, the offensive line in their first real real comp of the year was not up to
Mhm.
par.
Yeah.
I don't know if LSU's defensive line is good or not because they've played Florida State and Florida State has the knack for making all of their games interesting.
Mhm.
Um, and some of those are going to flip either way. I'll be really interested to see how LSU is the rest of the year. We know they have a good coach. We know Jaden Daniels is dynamic. Not sure if he's good at passing yet,
Yeah.
unless it's used to torture me at the end of a game.
hmm
But yeah, speaking of Jaden Daniels, he had his way on third and fourth down. We'd get to those critical spots and could not get off the field. And he would be like the worst quarterback throwing you've ever seen, and then get to third and fourth down and just lays a beauty to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
It's just wild. That is college football.
hmm I hate it,
Yeah.
but I love it.
Yeah, I think that's it for the bad. I mean, you really can't fault our defense that much with how much they were on the field and like how fast they were on the field.
Yeah.
Like it was
And
like it was a lot.
yeah. Um, that brings us to what we have left is the ugly in this game. And that can be described in two words. All
Hard
reliable.
worker.
All reliable.
All reliable is dead.
Yeah. If I hear anybody say that, and I don't want, he could have 5 catches for 500 yards
Five
and 5
touchdowns.
touchdowns for all I care against Bowling Green. He could have 5 punt returns for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. He could have he, he could hand me $1 million every day for the rest of my life, reliably, and I would never call him Mr. Reliable a day in my life because when the lights get hot, Austin Williams, Austin Williams is not reliable.
We're talking
I
about someone who's older than us, so don't get mad at us. Um,
yeah,
he's older than all of you too, so
he's close to retirement age.
he also dabbed me up at Marunico one time. Love you, Austin, but your name is Austin now.
Yeah, I let the Egg Bowl slide, like 2020 Egg Bowl. I we probably shouldn't have won that game anyway, but we just weren't a good team. But he fumbled the ball. That kind of in a back and
14
in a
point
back and
swing.
forth in a back and forth game, a 14-point swing where we ended up losing by 7 points. Kind of important. Um, so let that one slide because it had 2 years of reliability. But man,
Played the most games in Mississippi State history.
yeah, poor timing on that stat.
Oh yeah,
Um, anyway, so we're up by 7 points. No, 6 points. We're up
we
16 to
missed the
10.
field. We missed an extra point, of
Up,
course.
we're up six. Yeah, I'll never call a kicker for Mississippi State all reliable either.
I wish.
Um,
I wish.
he can make 550-yard field. I don't know why
Game is on the line.
I'm, I'm stuck on
Sweating.
five. I'm stuck on 500. Yeah. Anyway, We're up 16-10. We've had the lead the whole game. We can kind of feel LSU creeping back into it, but we just got a defensive stop. And I literally turned to my dad and my future father-in-law, and I said, "All right, if we can just go down the field and get points, any points at all, a field goal or a touchdown, and you've got a two possession game, preferably a touchdown, but any points makes it a two possession game, and I feel like we can get some momentum back." I'm finishing that sentence as the punt goes into the air, and then I know the LSU, I guess it was the long snapper or somebody kind of shielded him in a way that, like, I get he might not could have stepped right in front of stepped like because the guy was right in front of him, like
I
one
don't
step
care.
ahead.
It's
I know that happened, but as the punt returner, you have the right to get right under the ball and catch it, and he just completely
you have
misjudged
the
it.
right to not be near it.
Yeah, I mean you don't have
It's
to touch
inside
it.
the 10, right?
It was, yeah.
You shouldn't be near it.
But he completely misjudges the ball, and I mean at that point, the Baton Rouge Death Valley effect takes
Going
over,
into the fourth.
and there is absolutely no chance that anybody in the country wins that game after that.
Yeah, like
Not a chance.
you can't let Death Valley become Death Valley.
Yeah, and we did a good job of completely shutting them up on our first drive. Like, and although we weren't able to just continue to take the ball down the field like we did in 2014, like going down in your first drive, that's huge. That's really, really important. And then after that, I say we had momentum for the majority of the first half, and maybe a little bit into the third quarter as well. But after that moment, there was absolutely no shot we were going to get momentum or win that game. That
It
at
was the
that point,
most insurmountable 1-point deficit ever.
yeah. At that point, and a little bit before this had happened, but at that point, receivers started dropping balls. All this mounted on top of like having to think back about some fourth down calls earlier in the game, but receivers dropping balls. I mean, it just snowballed into just the worst quarter of football ever. That fourth quarter was horrible. We got outscored 21-0, I believe, and it felt like 42-0. I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah.
So, that being said, and I know we wanted to kind of turn this into a positive spin, that like had that not happened with Austin Williams, and I know that it did, but had that not, possibly the Death Valley effect wouldn't have happened, and we could have gone down the field, had a long drive, taken a few minutes off the clock, and scored to make it a 13-point game. Who knows? With the way Mike Leach was calling, we might have gone for 2 after that, and it'd been a 14-point game. We don't really know, but I just feel like we played a really sloppy game, and we almost got out of Death Valley with a win.
Yeah,
and
playing a horrible game and getting out there with a win would have felt fantastic.
Yeah,
but then it all fell apart at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, I know we're not playing against a 2019 LSU team. We're not playing against like a best college football team ever, but we don't really know what this LSU team is going to turn into, and they could be good. They could end 8-4, and neither one of those would surprise me.
Probably 8-4.
Probably going to. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like we had the chances to beat them. We played even with playing a terrible game, and we could have done it. But a dropped punt return is just all that it took for Baton Rouge to take over, and we had no shot. So I don't think it's like a red X on the season. I don't think we have to throw the whole season away, because the fact that we were almost got out of there gives me a little bit of hope for some of the bigger games we have moving forward.
Yeah.
Maybe not Bama and Georgia, but the handful of games that we have that are toss-ups. Arkansas, A&M, Kentucky.
Ole Miss.
I can see Ole Miss. Yeah, I can see them happening. Like I won't say that we're just going to go in and get blown out by these teams. We definitely have a shot, and a lot of those games are in Starkville, so that helps. 2 of those games are in Starkville. Yeah. So That all
Yeah,
we got?
I wish we would have won it. Would have been pretty
Hmm.
neat.
Yeah.
Would have been happier. I ate a bunch of pizza rolls during this one. Um,
Yeah. There we go. All right. We doing a preview just a tad bit about
yeah,
the Bowling
you're
Green
gonna have to
game.
carry this one. I know nothing about Bowling Green.
Okay, I'll try to keep it under 2 minutes on this. So
Under 2 minutes with all of this you have typed.
yeah, I'm not going to say a lot of this. Our production meeting kind of helped me break it down a little bit. Anyway, so I looked at our Winsipedia page against Bowling Green. We've played them one time in history, which I thought was absurd because I was like, I guarantee you, I've seen us play them at least 15 times. Well, I have an explanation for that because EA EA Sports stopped making college football games in 2014, and the last schedule that they had on there was 2013. And so that just happened to be the one time that we played Bowling Green. And so every time I start a dynasty with Mississippi State and don't change the schedule, or anytime I have a road to glory and some reason choose to play for Mississippi State, Bowling Green's always like my week 2 matchup. So I have played them personally probably close to 50 times. Um,
I'm
but
sending in a question to our question prompt right now.
but Mississippi State has played them one time. We won 21-20 in 2013. So a pretty close game to say the least. Um, Dak Prescott had a 75-yard touchdown run, but he was not the starting quarterback. That would have been Tyler Russell. So obviously to do this, we have to go with a two quarterback system. That's how we have to. That's how we have to win this. Um, anyway, all jokes aside, Bowling Green is 1-2 with losses to UCLA and Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky game was 7 overtimes, by the way. Last week they did beat Marshall in overtime, who, if you would remember, beat Notre Dame in South Bend 2 weeks ago. So that's kind of scary. I can kind of just assume that that can be chalked up to just a hangover after the biggest win in program history.
Yeah, and then just
Um,
going into OT against Bowling Green and just not being able to land it's nuts. Um,
All right. Two threats that we need to look for in the receiving core. CJ Lewis is 6'3", 215, so that's their biggest receiver. And Odieu Hilaire at 6 foot, 185. So they both are around 140 receiving yards on the year. Lewis with 3 touchdowns and Hilaire with 2 touchdowns, and all those touchdowns coming from one guy, the third-year starter Matt McDonald. He's having his best season yet. Last year, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 200 yards a game. This year, already at 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions,
this is Kenny
230 yards a game.
Pickett-esque.
Yeah, dude has a massive improvement from year 2 to year 3. And their defense has forced 7 turnovers on the year, has 12 sacks, and gives up. This is a shocking number. They have given up 45 points per game. In comparison, our defense has forced 5 turnovers, has sacked opposing quarterbacks 6 times, and we give up around 23 points per game. So I don't think we're going to struggle moving the ball and scoring against them. Just based on that stat alone, they have played UCLA, Eastern Kentucky, and Marshall and give up 45 points per game. So that's really all I've got. They do not run the ball very much at all. Their leading rusher right now is Matt McDonald, their third-year starting quarterback, 77 rushing yards. So that's
Mm,
what we got on Bowling Green. That's a sad-looking football team with a big win over Marshall.
typical.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's going to do us for our preview on the Bowling Green Falcons. That was absolutely not under 2 minutes, but we will be moving on to our picks for the week. As I said earlier, Hunter took a 2-game lead, and if you're wondering what the lead is all about, we're doing a year-long pick 'em just for the regular season, and at the end of the year, whoever has the best record will get to choose an Ole Miss hoodie for the other to wear, and the loser has to wear that hoodie, post it in an Instagram picture completely unironically, and they are unable to delete it. So I think a few options for this. We have kind of broadened it a little bit. It can be a Merry Flipmas shirt. It can
It'll
be
be
a
topical.
party in the SIP, or it could be a transfer to the SIP. So I'm leaning towards party in the SIP if I end up winning, and Hunter, you have to wear it. Um, but as a transfer student myself, I would understand if you wanted me to wear a transfer to the SIP shirt.
As someone who transferred to the SIP. Uh,
Someone drag racing at your house?
yeah, that's a common thing.
Well, good. All right, so we want to give a huge shout out to our last week's winner for our pick'em. That's Drew Robinson at 8-2. So good job, Drew. But we really need to see that stepped up to 10-0. All right, now we've got this week's pick'em coming up ahead. We've got the 10 best games happening in college football this week, and let's get into it. All right, game number 1. We've got number 5 Clemson traveling to number 21 Wake Forest.
Yeah. Wake Forest going into this game is 1-64 all time against top 10 opponents.
Gosh.
Their only win came in 1964.
Hey, my dad has never seen Wake Forest, unless it was after December the 15th. My dad has never seen Wake Forest beat a top 10 team, but my mom has seen one. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with history here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick Clemson.
All right, I'm also picking Clemson. I picked them moments before I knew that stat, and so that kind of reaffirmed my pick.
Now
Game
I'm
number
gonna go
2.
against stats here. This next game.
All right, game number 2. We got number 20 Florida going to Neyland Stadium and playing at number 11 Tennessee. I'll give my pick here first, even though we've already submitted our picks. Absolutely going Tennessee here. Florida is just going straight downhill after week 1. Anthony Richardson has not proven to me that he can win a big game on the road.
Ever
Huge.
since we sang his praises, he's just
That seems to be a common trend. Week one quarterbacks
this
getting
Hendon
praised.
Hooker guy is great.
Is he really?
I don't know. I hope he sucks.
All right. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go Tennessee here, just because Florida and AR-15 haven't really proven to me that they can do much, especially not in a hostile road environment.
Yeah, I'm going Florida here too. I'm pretty sure. I mean, not Florida. I'm going Tennessee here. I'm pretty
I
sure
was like,
Florida.
what?
Pretty sure Florida like owns this rivalry, like kind of hilariously over the past. Like, I mean, even when Tennessee was elite, they couldn't beat Florida.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit different now.
Okay.
Dan Mullen was right. People need to apologize. I mean, he almost beat Bama, and y'all said that he was wrong. Yeah, yeah. Picking Tennessee.
All right. I like it. All right. Now, game number 3 is a really intriguing game.
We're going to get screenshotted on this one.
Yeah. Number 10 Arkansas going to College Station.
Not
Every
going to
game
College Station, idiot.
is it not?
No,
Where is it?
it's
The
Jerry
Cotton
World.
Bowl? Oh, okay, okay. Well, I knew that it usually is, but I accidentally
Next
put
year,
at
maybe.
Texas
Next year,
A&M.
maybe.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so going
Sorry for
to
calling you an idiot.
Dallas. That was rude.
Dallas, it's in Fort Worth.
I hate you so much. All right, I thought it was in Jerry World. Okay, number 10 Arkansas going somewhere to play number 23 Texas A&M.
Going to the
Um,
football stadium to play.
they're going to one of those Texas high school stadiums.
They're going to Allen High, where their former coach, Chad Morris, was fired.
All right. I think I actually know who I'm going. I'm going Texas A&M here.
Yeah, I'm going Texas A&M. Been saying it all week in my random group chats to anyone that will listen. Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
Texas.
I know we already talked about the A&M and Miami game, but Texas A&M coming back from the App State loss and becoming like seemingly a pretty good team was kind of written all over the place. Like that, I could see that from a mile away. I could definitely see them beating Miami even after the App State performance. but this is just another week for them to prove themselves. Arkansas looked terrible, and as you mentioned, their pass defense is brutal. Texas A&M with is it Brandon Johnson? His name?
Max Johnson.
Max Johnson. Yeah.
I think he was second in the SEC last year in passing yards.
Yeah, I really really look for him to kind of exploit that Arkansas pass defense
and last week they didn't have two of their 5-star wide receivers. They were both suspended, and two 5-star defensive backs, and they have them back this week. So,
okay.
And those wide receivers are two of their top 4 options.
Okay.
So it was all Anais Smith just running around. And then people are like, oh, why does he drop a ball? I don't know, guys. He's tired.
All right, so both going A&M there, but that's one. That's the first one of the 3 games we've picked so far. I wouldn't really be surprised if Arkansas won that game.
Yeah.
Like if the other team won. The other 2, I'm pretty confident in. That one is a toss-up just because A&M can look completely different week to week. Game number 4 is our first unranked matchup. We've got Notre Dame at UNC. All right. I've seen UNC play 2 games this year. I saw them play against Florida A&M and just give up way too many points to a team that Jackson State gave up 3 points to. And
a team, they only had like 35 guys eligible.
Yeah, people forget. Also, I watched them play against App State, where they gave up way too many points against a team that A&M only gave up 17 points to.
It was 40. Was it 40 points in the 4th?
Yeah, it was.
Gene Chizik putting on a master class.
That being said, I've also seen Notre Dame play 2 games this year. One against Ohio State, which they held their own, and then against Marshall. So
Notre Dame's best showing of the year is an 11-point loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That being said, we have our work cut out for us in this game. This is going to be an ugly one, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame just because the 2 UNC games I've watched, they've looked worse than the 2 Notre Dame games I've watched.
I'm going UNC. UNC has an offense. I'm not too sure if Notre Dame has a defense, but I know UNC doesn't have a defense, but I don't know if Notre Dame's offense could get 4 yards on air. So
I like it.
So I got to pick UNC.
Just because we already know the picks, I believe that's the only other game only game today we're gonna differ on. So I'll either pick up a
Hall of Fame uniform matchup.
Oh, absolutely, especially like a UNC home uniform.
It's gonna be so nice.
Good. Absolutely, but yeah. So that game will be an opportunity for one of us to pick up a game, or for you to build onto your already insurmountable lead. All right, next game, we got game number 5, another unranked matchup, but an SEC matchup nonetheless, is Missouri at Auburn in the battle of coaches really, really fighting for their jobs right now.
Yeah. You want to take this one first? Or?
I will. So it's Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, right?
Mm-hmm,
and then Brian Harston. Okay. Man, I don't know what that helps me decide knowing their coaches' names, but kind of putting a face to the misery kind of helps me pick. And Eli Drinkwitz just has just a sad. He just looks sad all the time. So I'm going to say that he's going to look sad on the sideline on Saturday. Missouri's going to lose this one.
Missouri puts the misery in misery. So I'm picking Auburn here. TJ Finley's not good. Apparently he's kind of injured, so we'll get to see the freshman.
Because Zach Calzada is out for the year.
Yeah, medical redshirt fiend Zach Calzada. Why is he there?
Not quite sure.
I don't. Like there's a couple teams that need quarterbacks, and he's at Auburn behind TJ Finley.
Why is Bo Nix not there having fun?
I don't know. TJ Finley should not play quarterback.
TJ Finley should not. He just
He
should not.
he should be like a nice small forward on Auburn's basketball team.
Hmm. Yeah. All right.
He's tall.
All right. We're gonna move on from that one. That was just a brutal game to pick. Okay. Game number 6. We got number 22 Texas going to Lubbock to play Texas Tech. Is that where they're playing? Are we
Yeah,
sure?
yeah, yeah. They play in Texas.
Okay. I hate you.
No,
Okay.
they play in Oklahoma.
Okay. Texas Tech is a program right now that I think just has their expectations just way off, and like they beat Houston and stormed the field, and then got really hyped up for an NC State game that obviously didn't go their way. I think Texas is also a team that can kind of just have expectations that are way off. So this is kind of a battle of that right now. But I'm still going to go with Texas in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Texas. The only issue is Hudson Card is still your quarterback, and he's not very good. And Texas Tech is good against the run, so if they can limit Bijan Mustard, their Texas Hudson Card's gonna have to do something in this game, and
Yeah,
it could get interesting.
yeah.
Bijan
So both.
Mustard is the best NIL thing that's happened. That's so much better than DeColdest.
I was about to say,
I should have called DeColdest.
I called him.
Yeah, for my AC.
Oh, there you go. I forgot about that. Okay. Next game is gonna be Stanford
Good
going
pull.
Stanford at number 18 Washington. Washington coming off of a big win against Michigan State last week, and I
Imagine
don't really know
picking
what.
against them, idiot.
Stop calling me an idiot. All right.
Ooh, 2 games behind. You're just like the Braves.
Hey, we're 2.5 games behind now.
Hey, at least you're not 7.5.
Yeah, at least my season's not over.
Hey, hey, hey,
Um,
hey, 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 hey. We're
I'm
only 8 games out of the
walking.
wild card.
I'm only 10.5 games up in the wild card. Um, all right. So this game, I really have nothing to say other than Washington by about 12.
Yeah, I don't really know how this game stayed on here, which probably means Stanford's gonna win.
Hmm.
But I did send in my picks, and I picked Washington because they're good. Michael Penix is randomly a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't understand that. Uh, yeah.
All right. Staying in the Pac-12 for one more game, we've got game number 8, number 7 USC at Oregon State. So both teams 3-0, I believe.
hmm
Um, and the fact that Oregon State's 3-0 is not going to change my mind. I'm going USC in this
Yeah, I picked USC here. Um, Oregon State is 3-0. They killed Boise State, I believe.
one.
Um,
Hmm.
their stadium is being worked on, so it's at 50% capacity. So
Oh
they
gosh.
only have one side of it. This game would have been wild if not. Um, I feel like Oregon State's one of those places that I've never watched a football game. Like,
I watched the Civil War one time. That's what they call their
yeah,
rivalry with Oregon, and it was like
I
Oregon
feel
was
like it's
wearing.
like darkness, right? Isn't it like dark around
It
there?
is it is it is very dark. Yeah, you
Okay,
can
that's
even
what I
tell
thought.
that play. You can even tell that playing games here at NCAA. But the one game I watched, it was like Oregon wearing highlighter yellow jerseys and Oregon State wearing highlighter orange jerseys. So I mean, they kind of overcompensated for the darkness there. Um, it it was a hard game to watch. I don't even know what the score was. It was just hard. It was just unpleasing to
Is
the
it
eyes.
Utah where there's always that dense fog?
Uh, I have noticed that at their games, yeah, and
I
I'm
think
sure
that's a
that's
thing.
like all throughout the Pac-12. That's just like it has to happen.
Except for Arizona.
In Los Angeles, it's just smog, but
Hey, they fixed
yeah,
that somewhat. But yeah, picking
thanks
USC.
COVID. Okay, all right, game number 9. We got Duke at Kansas, and you may be wondering why this game's on here. I kind of am too, but both teams are 3-0. Duke, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky all 3-0 for the first time in over a century, which is weird. But
Since things mattered.
So, what is this game affectionately known as?
The basketball.
I hate that so much. All right.
Uh, Duke put it on their Instagram, so I used it. Basketball, go Burr.
All right.
Game day should be here.
I'm going Kansas. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
same.
I just. I want a world where Kansas is good at football, and I want a world where
Kansas
Duke is
wins.
bad.
There's ranked. The Kansas wins and they're ranked. Like,
And I want a
it's,
world where Duke is bad at everything. So
mm-hmm.
um, that's what I got for you. Game number 10, America's Game of the Week.
Game day should be here.
11 a.m. Just a gross
Where
matchup.
everyone likes to put their primetime games.
Bowling Green at Mississippi State. Give me Mississippi State by 40.
I cannot wait for your score prediction and it not to be 40 points. Uh, yeah, give me Mississippi State.
All right. I'm going to go the score prediction pretty quickly, so I won't forget that I'm supposed to say we're by 40.
No,
52 to
you
12.
should talk a little bit before you give that. Um, so as you know, I don't come in here with you know, an idea of what I'm gonna say for score prediction.
Hmm.
Um, so let's just say let's account for a few missed kicks. Um, 33 to 7.
33 to 7. I said 52 to 12. Okay. Um, one of those is going to be horrible. Um,
Was that a
and I
voice
think it's going to.
crack?
Shut up. Get off my case, Hunter. Okay. Are we doing offensive and defensive player?
Hey, yeah, just say someone.
Okay. I'll go Dollar Bill offensive and mm, Jalen Green defensive.
I'll go. Um,
No, you know who I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go Austin Williams offensively and Jalen Green defensively. I bet Austin Williams is gonna pop off against a lower opponent with the lights not on.
okay, I'm gonna go Jameer Calvin. Let's get some yards after catch. Maybe get the first line of guys out of the game. Kind of get ready for the next game. Um, and Jet Johnson, he's just a hard worker. My Mr. Reliable.
I like it. I like it. All right. So we've got our pick'ems sent in. Please send those in. I really doubt you're going to be listening to this before games start tomorrow, but we did post this on our Instagram, so you did have all the warning that we could have given you to send in your picks. So thanks, guys, so much for interacting with us that way. And we're going to move on into our Instagram questions. And Hunter, I'm actually going to need you to read those today.
Oh yeah,
Um,
forgot you're on your phone.
my phone is going wild. So,
First one, it's from me. It was the one I
mhm,
alluded to earlier. So, say you're starting up Road to Glory.
mhm,
You played through your high school career. What's the best
mhm.
school to go to?
Um, I always go to a different school every time. My reason for that is just because I wanna see what it's like as a student athlete at all these different universities. Now I go to the place with the coolest uniforms every time.
Yeah, so like your Texases, your Oregon. Uh,
Hmm. I'm
I
trying to
think
think other.
I think Texas has to be the choice, right?
I've definitely done a few at Texas. Um,
Arkansas is a nice one. If you want to do something not Mississippi State in the SEC or
yeah,
LSU, obviously.
I've done several at Florida actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've never done one at Alabama. I don't think that would be
Now that
very
I think
fun.
about it, have I ever done one in the Pac-12?
I did do one at I did one at Baylor and I did one at Washington.
Okay, okay.
I've
Those are
never done
two.
one at a
Those are too
never done
good.
one at a service academy.
I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh,
I had this like 400 pound, 7 foot tall option quarterback.
hmm
It's pretty sick. He was so good. Okay, next question.
All right,
Yeah, let me pull those up. From the Just Cooley, drop the pod. Okay.
we'll do it.
From Plebeian Monk, Mike Leach out.
Mm, maybe, but not just after the LSU game. It's going to take a probably another 2 years worth of performances like that for him to leave.
Brooks Taylor. Our defense didn't seem the same after the first part of the third. Did LSU just find a wrinkle and expose it?
I think we just kind of saw it slowly happening, as we said, with fatigue, just because we kept on having to go on the field defensively after a bunch of three and outs. Um, I don't think we just like stopped doing one thing. I don't think I also don't think it was like Jaden Daniels figured out a hole. I think fatigue just led to openings for him.
Does the second half concern you any regarding future SEC games? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pretty safe to say it does, but not every SEC game is going to be played at Death Valley.
And has a 4-3 quarterback. From Nathan Taylor, would you choose brisket or pork ribs?
It's brisket every day for me.
I don't know. Sometimes you're just in a rib mood. And like good ribs are like almost better than anything on earth. But like mediocre ribs aren't that great. But mediocre brisket is still brisket, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I may go ribs on this one. Which I really do like brisket, but
I want some good Lincoln Riley brisket.
From Football Timothy, do you think we need to make changes on the offensive line? I feel like if there were changes more guys that we could plug in, we would have done it. I think at this point we're just kind of left with who we got.
Yeah. You know more about that than I do.
I don't know a lot this year. From Unofficial Hail State, what's the biggest takeaway from the first 3 games of the Mike Leach offense this year? Our top group of wide receivers is really, really good, in my opinion.
Outside of the fourth quarter against LSU, they have been pretty outstanding.
Yeah. Again, from Unofficial Hail State, what would you like to see this week that'll make you feel good for the upcoming games?
Hopefully no starters after halftime. That would make me feel good.
Probably Sawyer coming in after Will leaves the game because we're up so much, and throwing for like 5 million yards.
That would make me feel really good.
And like a lot of them to Austin Williams, and he catches every single one of them and earns back Mr. Reliable from the rest of the fan base. Except for us, we will not forget.
Never forget.
Okay, and that is it for Instagram questions.
All right.
It was a good group of them. We did give them a whole day.
That was like our best week of Instagram questions this season. So, well, with that being said, that is going to be it for our episode. Thank you guys so much for interacting with us with our Instagram questions and with our pick'em. That's been a fun addition. Well, the negotiation between me and you has been a fun little addition to the pick'em this year. But we still do like seeing you guys send in your picks and getting a chance for a shout out on our next episode, even though that's extremely not valuable. We know that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. More than anything, just listening is all we can ask for from you guys. So we will see you guys after another weekend of college football. We'll be back next week on Going for Two with Jack Taylor. Thanks. Oh, shoot. Are you starting the podcast over?
Hey guys, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Hunter 2.
My name is Jack Taylor. Does this music always play at the end?